The new community update released yesterday, and while full of some awesome news, today's video will be starting with an unfortunate announcement. Around 9 AM Central Time, Spartan Games, the studio behind Halo Fleet Battles and Halo Ground Command, announced that it would be shutting down. According to a blog post published to the Spartan Games website, the company has had some severe financial troubles for the past couple years. Quote, significant new development costs, timing issues, and the deflection of management time from the core game brands resulted in a significant trading loss for 2015/16. The business was able to continue to trade by raising additional finance and refocusing on core brands, and direct/online trading improved significantly. Results for 2016/17 were significantly improved. However, despite this, it continued to encounter challenging trading conditions, and it became clear this month that the company would not continue to service its liabilities, particularly given the burden imposed by the amounts owing to finance companies. In addition, they revealed that one of the company's directors has been having some serious health issues for a while, saying, one of the company's directors has suffered from a long period of poor health, which became significantly more serious earlier this year and, although now back in business, requires ongoing treatment. This has inevitably taken a toll on the amount of time available to the business, so, along with other challenges, has significantly contributed to this difficult decision. This is truly saddening news for Halo fans. Many had been wanting Halo to expand into the tabletop realm, beyond various board games released over the years, and Fleet Battles and Ground Command were everything many of us had hoped for, and more. At the time of this recording, 343 has yet to put out any sort of official statement beyond a post by the Halo Gear Twitter account. I know fans are hoping another company can pick up the license, but at the moment, the future of Halo on tabletop remains unknown. I want to wish the best of luck and good health to the directors and employees of Spartan Games. I got to meet a few of them at Gen Con in 2016 and had a blast during the brief conversations. I could tell their passion for tabletop gaming and Halo was genuine. Thank you, Spartan Games, for what you were able to do with the Halo license, and may the future find you all in good health and success. For anyone who wants to read the full blog post, I've left a link in the description box. Now, as sad as that is, we do actually have some rather exciting news to focus on today. We opened the Halo community update with news from Gamescom, which, along with new footage for the upcoming Terminus Firefight mode, revealed that Awakening the Nightmare will release on September 26th, one day after Halo 3's 10-year anniversary, funny enough. The new footage shows off some awesome new abilities and a few new units. Along with that, a separate blog post revealed a number of new concept art pieces, which look amazing and just build the hype for me. I've left a link to that in the description as well. Moving forward, the next big piece of news is related to Halo Retribution. Author Troy Denning released 2 small excerpts from the novel on his Twitter account, and publisher Simon & Schuster have released audio excerpts on SoundCloud. Links to these can be found in the community update article. Halo Retribution releases this upcoming Tuesday, August 29th. Incidentally, the first issue of Rise of Atriox releases the day after. Our final piece of news today is related to Halo Warfleet, which will release on Tuesday, September 6th. And goddamn is that a lot of Halo media in a short amount of time. But anyway, along with an interview with Ken Peters, a big-time writer at 343, he was heavily involved with the lore for ships and units in Fleet Battles and Ground Command, along with the Phoenix logs for Halo Wars 2, so I recommend reading the interview. We also got a few teaser images for the book. First is the table of contents, which has some really interesting chapters. Among these are Slipspace, which I hope has a more thorough explanation of slipspace mechanics and how that crazy shit works. The Galaxy, which will hopefully be exactly what it sounds like, though given 343's reluctance to place their fictional star systems into real ones, I don't really have much hope for an in-depth map of Human and Covenant space. Although the Human and Covenant sections of the book do have the Human Sphere and Covenant Sphere respectively, so we'll see just how detailed this gets. And Travelers, it's anyone's guess what that could be, among so many more. Next we get to the Human section, which standouts for me were the Human Sphere, just mentioned a moment ago, and Earth colonies, which could get insane. We know that prior to the Covenant War there were 800 colonies. Though that doesn't mean 800 fully populated planets, it'll be interesting to see just how in-depth this section goes. Along with named ships, which we'll cover a little later, we can see that we'll have sections on cruisers, fighters, destroyers, space stations, frigates, carriers, dropships, prowlers, and drop pods. We also know that some, if not all these, will have both familiar and new ships and vehicles. I'm personally hoping we might get some new information on the UNSC Cradle, a refit and repair station that appeared in Halo The Fall of Reach. After that is the Covenant section, which has a Sphere of Influence and Colony section, along with Strikecraft, Executioners, Examiners, Insertion Pods, procurators, attack ships, troop carriers, and vestiges. It'll be interesting to see what known Covenant ships fit in where, and what new ship types we'll see. I'm really hoping for a Covenant frigate, as that's something that's appeared in the fiction numerous times but has never been depicted. I'm also guessing right now that Vestiges is going to be the Halo 5 ships, or rather Sangheili designed ships. If you recall, the ships in Halo 5 are designs that canonically predate the Covenant. Ships of this kind were used by the Covenant, but rarely in main fleets. Finally, we have the Forerunner section, which includes Dragoons, warships, battle stations, and peacemakers. Not long after the announcement of Warfleet, we found out that there would be 10 cutaways drawn. That is, 10 images of ships with cutouts and details on the internal workings. Now we know the ships we'll see. Pillar of Autumn, a modified Halcyon-class cruiser. Cairo Station, the orbital defense platform from Halo 2. In Amber Clad, a Stalwart-class light frigate. Infinity. Spirit of Fire, a converted Phoenix-class colony ship. High Charity, the Covenant's holy city. That'll be interesting to see given its size. Truth and Reconciliation, a preview of which is included in the community update. Here we can see a cutaway of one of its hangar bays, which should be familiar to any Halo fan at this point. Interestingly, years ago, fans put together a map of the inside of the ship based on the renders of the levels from Halo CE. It'll be interesting to see just how well that all lines up. Shadow of Intent, a CAS-class assault carrier. Ardent Prayer, a SDV-class heavy corvette. And Anodyne Spirit. As we have been told that we were getting a cutaway of the Forerunner Dreadnought that once rested in High Charity, it's safe to assume that Anodyne Spirit was its designation. All of these are well-known ships. While it's said that we won't get more cutaways or cutaways from newer ships, these are going to be extremely interesting. And if the book does well enough, there's hope for future editions. One thing that really has me interested is the Pillar of Autumn cutaway. In the interview with Ken Peters, he notes that when talking about the work that went into these cutaways, quote, "There were also inconsistencies and rough edges that needed to be addressed in both the art and text that took some time and collective discussion to iron out." To me, and a few others, that sounds like a more than specific reference to the Warthog run from Halo CE. As keen-eyed fans should know, the Warthog run is 3 kilometers long, even though the Pillar of Autumn is only 1.17 kilometers long. Seen here, thanks to some work by some very dedicated fans, the actual Warthog run doesn't even fit into the ship, nor could it and make sense. It was a matter of gameplay over Canon, which I don't blame Bungie for one bit. The Warthog run is a blast. Still, it's a point of canon contention, and hopefully, Warfleet will address it. Moving forward though, we have one more image to discuss, the image for the Dragoons. Here we see a full 2-page spread, which has a ton of information. The Dreadnought-class ship from Halo Wars, not to be confused with the Forerunner Dreadnought in Halo 2 and 3, that was the name the Covenant gave it, its classification was actually a key ship, is properly called a Sojourner Dreadnought, which are classified as Prime Dragoons. Dragoons are a class of warship that stretches back to the earliest days of the Forerunner Ecumene. Interestingly, the Dragoon is actually just the wings or blades of the Dreadnought, with the center being a battle station. Each wing is itself a Dragoon. Typical Dragoon formations had 2 Dragoons with a battle station making a combat trident. Later in the Forerunner Flood War, a new formation consisting of 10 Dragoons and a battle station arose. This seems to be a direct reference to this amazing scene from the Halo Legends episode Origins 1. Dragoons were piloted by 1 Precept and 15 Neva Arcs. They were protected by heavily armored warrior servants Skutari, which excelled in shipboard combat and tactical reconfiguration of the ship's interior spaces. That last bit sounds a bit like some of the moments from Halo 4's level Shutdown. I also can't help but wonder if the Forerunner soldiers we see in Halo 4's terminals are Skutari, or some other class mentioned here. In addition, War Sphinx-clad Venators would direct millions of autonomous Hunter-Killer fighters. This would seem to be a reference to the Despair-class Hunter-Killer fighters first mentioned in the Forerunner saga, and more recently seen in Halo Wars 2's Operation Spearbreaker. For weapon, these beasts had a torsion drive, 28 converging beam cannons, and 300 light-mass fusillade cannons. These ships also have an Auspex array, which is for long-range scanning, not just in real space, but also into slipspace. And what I've covered here is but the tip of the iceberg. Check out the images from the community update for yourself. There is a ton of new info in here. And that wraps up the community update from a lore standpoint. There's more to it, such as an awesome community spotlight, which this week has real-life Warthog builds, fleet battles, paint jobs, and fan art, but you'll have to check out the article to see it for yourself. Thanks for watching as always, I hope you enjoyed this. Until next time, this has been Halo Canon. Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you liked this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up, subscribing, and sharing it around. You are the reason I get to keep doing this, so thank you, profusely thank you.